Hey everyone, Sean here, and welcome to my, hopefully a series of what I'm going to be going over my favorite chemicals of 2025. I know it's a little late on that type of video, and it is literally the middle of February as I record this. But I had a lot of distractions, a lot of things that came up when I originally wanted to record it, which was back in like December of 2025, but you know, the whole thing with the garage happened. We got that taken care of, luckily. As smoothly as I wanted to, and a lot of other distractions in January and all that stuff. So now I guess it's now the opportunity for me to really talk about my favorite chemicals of 2025, just because I've seen a lot of people do it, and I just want to share my sort of way of expressing that in some sort of video. So I may do this in like several parts, or maybe in even one. So what I'm going to be going over basically is mentioning my favorite products of whatever category. So in this video, it will be the car shampoo, you know, basic, pretty simple, right? And then the rest of it will be like other such categories. I'm going to be mentioning the favorite chemicals, and then I'm going to pick my sort of top favorite. But it's not, I don't want to like package this as like, the best product or anything like that. It's just my favorite. You know, it's based off of my experience that I've had with these products. And, you know, obviously everyone's going to have their sort of different experiences and such like that. So it's going to be real fun to see whose favorite products and all that stuff is going to be in the comment section below. So anyways, I thought I'd make these sort of mentions, I should have said, and then pick my favorite of these bunch anyway. So, car shampoos. This time around it's been pretty interesting to see, especially with all the companies starting to really come out of their shell and be able to make their way to here in the States, especially thanks to House of Rags. Really cool for them to bring a number of these brands from across overseas to here. So anyways, that really kind of like really made this pool of products of that year very interesting. So especially in car shampoos alone. But anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and go across here and mention what car shampoos I really like when it comes to my routine washes. So of course, this is kind of like one of the standards, right, for a number of people, which is CarPro Reset. I've used this stuff in the past, and I've used it for at least a couple years now. It's actually supposed to be a more of an acidic shampoo, so it's one of those like acidic shampoos that you use in your 2 pH system to help reset the ceramic coating whenever it calls for it. Hence why it's called Reset. But you can also think of it more of like a neutral pH product, funny enough. But I think it's supposed to be a little more on the acidic side than anything, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, the cleaning power on this, fantastic, along with the clean shampoo. So I really like the scent on this. It also has a nice packaging of cleaning power and slickness and all that stuff. Along with CarPro Reset, but the scent is really sets it apart from anything. And I know scent is like very trivial in these sort of situations, but really it adds to the experience. Just one of those nice things to have, and I think clean shampoo really sort of offers that very nicely. Next one up, I've really started to like during its or ever since its debut, excuse me, is Quiver's a Rogue shampoo. This is another pH neutral foaming shampoo. This is one of the more highly concentrated ones. It does have a similar characteristic with the next one I'm about to mention here, but it's pretty workable, even if it is pretty thick. And that thickness though does come with the clinging ability that it sticks onto the vehicle when you first foam it, which is really nice, because if you plan to use this along with some sort of high alkaline sort of booster, that'll definitely enhance the pre-foaming experience or that first foaming that you do before you rinse it off and then do another foaming and then do your contact wash. Quiver is another one that's pretty high up there. I like the cleaning ability that this does come with alone, even with the contact wash. And speaking of which, the slickness is definitely very good. Now, like a lot of these soaps though, they are more on the expensive side, but if you want that a little more of that bougie experience, this is kind of one of them. Now it does come with a 32-ounce bottle, and then it usually costs around 30 bucks, so it's probably close to like $1 an ounce or something like that, depending on how you use it. Usually I like to use a half an ounce for, per, let's say 32 ounces in the foam can or something like that. Around 30 ounces more or less, because this foams just enough, right, to cling on to the car nicely. Especially if you just want that sheeting foam instead of like that shaving cream foam. If you want that thick foam, 1 ounce of this is just enough. Speaking of thick soaps and highly foaming formulas, this is of course another little staple amongst those thick foaming soaps, which is Incredible Suds. Not too long ago, they did come out with Incredible Suds Type 2 during 2025. And this one's a little different because the workability is a lot more up there, as it has a thinner sort of viscosity. So it won't stick to the sides as much, but it actually still has that same clinging ability. Along with the cleaning ability, this is a little more on the high pH side, so a little more on the basic side, maybe like 8 or 9 or something like that, but probably around 8. But it's still, I would say, considered neutral. It's not like this intense shampoo. It's just a nice maintenance wash shampoo along with the rest of them, maybe apart from Reset. But Incredible Suds has, that sort of quote-unquote incredible foaming ability and also the cleaning ability, but also as a contact wash, very, very slick as well to its own right. The first version was kind of infamous to be kind of like corn syrupy, so very thick, very hard to work with when you're trying to mix it. But this pretty much resolves it. It's still a little tough on the mixing, but this is a lot more workable. It's a lot closer to something like the Quiver Rogue shampoo. So I believe it does supposed to have some sort of enhanced cleaning ability. So I mean, if you're gonna get Incredible Suds, obviously you want to get Type 2. That's pretty much what it is. The coloring is a little different, I think, on the bottle, if that means anything. But the scent is incredible. It's got that nice grape scent, and I forgot to mention this is like a tropical fruit scent, which is very nice. It's more like a pina colada scent for those who are into that stuff. But yeah, now speaking of scents and like just luxurious experiences, I wanted to really make this mention in here. I actually used this pretty recently, not too long ago, and you'll see that video sometimes, hopefully soonish. But this is Luminous Mint Shampoo. This is actually a product from South Korea. They were able to make it over here overseas, thanks to House of Rags, of course, not affiliated or anything like that. But Luminous, I've kind of started to dip my foot into that part of the detailing market, and so far, my impressions on Luminous is kind of up and down, because I've used another product and I wasn't as impressed, but this one, when it comes to the shampoo, very, very nice to use. I am pretty impressed with the mint shampoo. The scent is very nice. It doesn't have that artificial sort of minty smell. It actually has a more of a natural minty note to it. So you're gonna like kind of smell the actual leaf more than anything, and the mint, of course. So if you actually smell the difference between an artificial mint and a natural mint leaf, there's quite a difference there. So then this is more on that natural side of things, I think, anyway. But more importantly, the slickness is very, very close to, very, very close to, I would say, out of this world. Like it's very nice. It's such a luxurious car shampoo to use. I think it's a little more expensive. I'll put all the pricing on the bottom part of the screen, hopefully. But yeah, if you want a nice fancy time with the foaming contact wash, this is definitely up there. I definitely am tempted to like buy a bigger bottle of this stuff, maybe like a 5 liter or whatever gallon they have available. Whichever the biggest one is, I am very tempted to just get this stuff just because it's such a nice shampoo to just work with. This is definitely more on the bucket wash side of things. I wouldn't use this in a foam cannon, so to say. So in the bucket, it does foam up nicely if you want to do the volcano thing. But yeah, more importantly though, when you do that contact wash, very, very, very slick. But overall, with all that said, when it comes to the shampoos anyway, I gotta pick one when it comes to the favorite. And you know, again, I don't want to make this into like a top, 3 or 5 or whatever type of video. But if there is one to pick still, I think I gotta give it to Car Pro Reset. It's just something about the incredible cleaning ability and the slickness that it has for Car Pro Reset. Not only that, it helps with having a ceramic coated car, and it just helps getting all that crap off and restoring possibly the hydrophobicity on the ceramic coating. So this one, when it comes to the scent, is funny enough. It's like a very generic, fresh sort of shampoo scent. It's just nothing really out of this world. But this does the function of this is very, very good. So that definitely does make up for it. While the rest of these do have their own unique characteristics, I gotta say though, Car Pro Reset is my favorite amongst car shampoos. Okay, so now for the next part of this sort of favorite product series of 2025, we do have Rinseless washes. They've been very competitive with each other, kind of really duking it out as to which one is my favorite, especially. So this time around has been really tough because a number of them came out with their updates, and also there were new ones. But again, let me go one direction to mention all the Rinseless washes you see on the screen here. So another favorite though amongst a lot of people, and it is the Hero Rinseless Wash from Armor Detail Supply. Very good stuff. They did come out with a newer version somewhere in the recent times, and I got to take a little scent of it. Just nice, very nice strawberry lemonade scent. Previously, it was more of like a strawberry kiwi, which I also really liked. It was kind of also unique amongst the Rinseless Wash scents. And it also came out with more of a different color to it, but the formula is more the same, and the formula is still very effective, very slick on the surface for what it is, and it does compete with a lot of these sort of Rinseless washes. But I got to give it to another one that I picked up 2025, which is the Yum Rinseless Wash. This is purely a surfactant-based Rinseless wash, so it'll actually not leave anything behind. So if you really want something that doesn't do that, and you just want something that cleans as a Rinseless wash, this is definitely up there. This is also pretty concentrated, and this is a little more viscous, so it is a little thicker to work with, but it still mixes it pretty well. And I gotta say, I kind of like the sriracha bottle tip right here. It actually does make things a little easier to work with in a way. I mean, you do need to have a little measuring cup, but I don't know, that's just, there's just something about it I kind of like. It's just really funny, but it works at the same time. But more importantly, the slickness, the cleaning ability is actually really good for a Rinseless wash. And even though it is a surfactant based, it actually still works effectively as a Rinseless wash. So, and more importantly, the scent. And also, on top of all that, the scent is very nice as well. But out of this world is, of course, the actual ability to clean and just slide across the surface as a Rinseless wash. And like I said, it's very highly concentrated. So the cost will kind of balance itself out once you actually kind of like take into account that the amount of product you want to use with this. It actually asks for around 400 to 1. You could also use it at that standard 256 to 1. And but when you still, use it around like that 400 to 1 dilution, it's still very, very slick. So it'll definitely kind of like, you can get a lot of mileage out of this one bottle if you're a little thoughtful about it. So you can use this on vehicles that are like, bi-weekly or something like that, or if you wash it weekly, for sure. But if the situation calls for it, you can definitely pull it out as a 256 to 1 rinses wash. But for the most part, you're going to be using right around that 400 to 1 sort of dilution, which basically you're going to be using an ounce per 4 gallons of water in your bucket. And then you can also take that same thing to the spraying part as well as your little pre-washing phase. But yeah, Yum, very, very, very good. I've been really liking how they kind of go about things. I mean, say what you will about Yum, the Yum sort of company, but I like it for what it is, especially with the rinseless wash. So that does kind of like, sort of provide a sort of gateway to the rest of the Yum products. Maybe I'll try like their citrus and something like that someday. Another classic one, well, not classic, but another like standard favorite amongst detailers, especially within the rinseless wash aspect, is DIY Details Rinseless Wash. Simply put, I've used this number of times, enough times to where I've been using this as my sort of staple sort of rinseless wash. It's got its own characteristic of being slick. The cleaning ability is really good because it's a little more on the surfactant side, but it also has some polymers in there. So it's got that nice little hybrid thing going. But I think it's a little more on the surfactant side, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, the cleaning ability and everything as a rinseless wash, and of course the gliding sort of ability is pretty nice. It's like a good all-around sort of jack of all trades rinseless wash, I'd say, and a really good one at that. So while maybe not be the best at what it's supposed to be doing, but it's pretty good like for everything else. Like you could really use this for like a lot of other things really well, like a interior wash or glass cleaner, or just like a quick little cleanup in some areas, little intricate little areas. Something about this, it just does it really well. So that's why I really call it like a really good jack of all trades sort of rinseless wash amongst all the newer ones. But yeah, it's just really nice along with the scents. It's got that nice candy apple-ish sort of scent. So it's been my favorite for a pretty good amount of time. So that's why I have to mention this. I've been really liking the DIY Details stuff for a good while now when it comes to detailing. Another favorite, for instance, wash of mine is an update to it is the Nemesis version 2 or Type 2. Version 2 offers just an upgrade for everything you like about Nemesis Wash. It does get rid of the sudsing ability. So, if you actually like the foaming aspect of Nemesis, I'm afraid it's gone. But the slickness is definitely better. The cleaning ability, I'm sure, is better. But the slickness, the actual contact experience, very, very nice. Very nice improvement, and it's so economical in comparison to a lot of the rinseless washes on the market, as the gallon goes for around like $40. So it's really one of the really economical ones, and it still has really good ability to clean and of course provide that rinseless experience. If you want to use it, for a no rinse or a pretty much like, of course, a rinseless method. This does it very, very incredibly well. So, but yeah, very good job from Detail Co., Eddie and Jamie, on the improvement for Nemesis. I really do like it. It's been really climbing up there as my sort of top favorites. Now, along with that, now speaking of the economical rinseless wash, we're gonna go more on the the other end of the pricing, which is the iconic Rinseless wash. I don't even know if this is still around, but this is one of those like limited run sort of products. But something about this is just really, really nice to use. It's very bougie at that. So I would consider this, at least in my lineup, the most bougie sort of Rinseless wash that I have here for the video, at least. Iconic Rinseless wash is the sort of collaboration between DIY Detail and Detail Co. or House of Rags. And this is the formulation that they come up with. It's really, really nice with everything you expect from a Rinseless wash. And it's got that nice cherry scent, which I gotta take a whiff of it. It's just really, really nice. Oh yeah, yeah. Very, very pleasant experience, especially when you like put it in the bucket, 256 to 1, and then you just like use it during the contact wash. It's just that has that nice subtle cherry scent to carry you around as you go around the vehicle. So it's just very, very pleasant to work with. So now, all that being said, I gotta pick one, right, when it comes to the favorites. And you know what? Now I gotta do this, but Yum kind of takes it as my favorite now. It overtook DIY Detail, and even so, Nemesis, I kind of overtook DIY Detail by somewhat of a smidge. But I think Detail Co did a really good job like updating on the Rinseless wash game. But this is just incredible in its own right. Because of the concentration, the formulation of the cleaning ability, and of course, the slickness, right? It's just, whoa. If you want a nice, fancy Rinseless wash. So really, these two, honestly, these are like the best ones out there for the value. And then if you want like just nice performing one, then grab a Yum Rinseless wash. Grab like a I think it's supposed to be like it's a 500 ml bottle. It's pretty expensive at first, but when you think about it with the dilution and everything, it kind of balances out with the rest of the Rinseless wash. But when it comes to this one, you'll definitely save quite a bit per wash. So that's why Nemesis really sticks out like that. And so, but anyways, Yum is my overall favorite of 2025. I gotta really give it to Nick from Yum Cars. It's really, really good stuff. I'm really, really tempted to get a whole, what is it, the 5-liter bottle of this stuff. It's just really nice to have. I would really hate to use this all up, but life goes on. But anyways, it is not to say that any of these or the rest of the Rinseless washes or hell, the shampoos or anything like that aren't like any lesser. They all perform really well nowadays. They're just really competitive with each other, especially with the Rinseless wash. They've been really going neck and neck and stuff like that, or going really at it. And that's good because that's it really pushes the market to be better for the rest of us. So we win, they win. It's a win-win situation when it comes to that. And I look forward to more of this stuff. But yeah, Rinseless washes have been exceptionally like that. It's just very much emphasizing that part of the market. It's just, or that aspect of that phenomenon. It's it's such a nice thing to kind of see that they take this really seriously and come up with these really nice products. So I really look forward to the rest of this year to see what other Rinseless washes they'll have to offer on the market and see if they compete with these ones, or especially with Yum and Nemesis and DIY Detail, of course. Yeah, so this is kind of a nice video or a fun little video so far, but hope you guys find it interesting or entertaining to some degree. If you guys have any like favorite products you want to share, leave them down below. I would love to read them for sure, because I like to see different perspectives and experiences when it comes to car products, especially with what you deal with from the road or what you deal with from the weather and stuff like that. It calls for different products, so I want to see how you guys kind of pick your favorites and stuff like that. So anyways, down below, I'd love to read them, along with hitting a like and subscribe. It really helps out, and I do appreciate it. So again, thank you so much. I'll try to come up with more of the rest of the chemicals and products, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Sean out.